A little crock pot cooking. A boneless leg of lamb, diced tomatoes in juice, corn, sweet potato, onion, garlic, black beans, or any bean that you like, peppers, any peppers that you like, a little celery, some merlot wine, and also a little bacon for flavor. You could, after dicing up the lamb, just throw everything in a crock pot and let it cook. But I want to get some flavor, nice flavor. So I'm going to, even though this crock pot of mine, you can put on the stove and cook in it, you won't be able to see what's going on. So we're going to brown the meat, the onions, the garlic, the peppers, and then we're going to throw everything into the crock pot. Now we're going to start to saute. Put a little olive oil or your favorite oil in there. That flame is high. We'll wait a second until it starts to smoke a little. And then, as soon as the meat is browned a little, and we'll put a little salt on it. And some pepper. Use a sea salt. If you notice the color, it's not pure white, which means it has not been refined as much. That in itself is good. A little salt. And don't forget, this is going to go into everything else, so that is not overly salted. And pepper. When it comes to the pepper, you like it hot, put what you want. The second this is done, remember, a very high flame, as you can tell, it's almost going to start to boil now. I could have done this in 2 steps. Has a nice aroma already. That's why it's better to saute the meat a little bit and get that flavor than just throwing it into the crock pot raw. Don't waste film now. Brown this, so I'll shut off the film until it's brown. So that takes care of the lamb. So we'll take the lamb, keeping the flame hot. Lamb right into the crock pot. And the size of the lamb doesn't matter that much. It could have been smaller, it could have been larger. It's going to shrink. And I left all the fat on there for flavor. Because there is flavor in lamb fat. Now we're going to put the bacon. The peppers. The thyme, the garlic, and the onions. Well, I mean celery, and now the onions. I can just tell you how great this smells already. The aroma is so nice. And all that flavor in the pan will be picked up because we're going to deglaze it. We're going to throw the tomato in there after this. The wine and a little water. And after that's done, now if you want, you could season this also with a little salt and pepper. Like I always say, everything that's in a recipe has to be seasoned. But when you're cooking something like this, a stew, you can really season it at the very end. This will take a few minutes. This will take about 10 minutes. And then we'll go to the next step. I forgot the bay leaves, so we'll throw them in now. It's coming along nicely. I'm going to put this into the crock pot. We're going to add the 4 cups of water I'm adding. So it's in with the tomato, and 4 cups of water. And some of it is in the merlot. The sweet potatoes, I'm going to drop right into the crock right now. Well, let's just take a look at it. Well, that didn't give you a good view of everything, but this is, I think, 8 quart. When we're done with this deglazing and putting it in there, the kale, which doesn't take that long to cook, will be simmered in here. And then just save it. And when everything in the crock pot is done, the beans, the lamb, then we'll add the kale. See, you just scrape the pan, and everything that is black, which has flavor, should go right into this liquid. This comes to a boil, it's going into the crock pot. So we'll wait a few minutes. Now, to assist the crock pot a little bit, so it doesn't have to have anything cold in there and then bring back the heat, because right now it's very hot. So we'll put the beans in here, which have been soaked overnight. And also the corn, the raw corn. This will take about another 2 minutes to get really hot. And then I put it in the crock pot. It's on high. It's set for 8 hours. But I don't think it'll take 8 hours. probably around 6. So this comes to a boil, and then I'm going to add it. I just added everything. And as you can see, it's nice and hot, which means it'll start cooking up like right away. And it looks like the liquid amount was correct. So goodbye until 6 hours from now. So the last step, putting the kale. A couple of cups of water, and not a high flame. A little salt, and a little pepper. And we'll put a tight lid on this. And this will take, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. Not a high flame. Just let it steam down. And then we'll put that off to the side until later. That's taken about 20 minutes, and the greens are done. Now we just leave them there and wait till this stew gets finished. And the stew, if it looks too watery, you could leave it like that. But if you want, we can thicken it up a little with just a little cornstarch and water. For this amount, it would take like 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of water. Just smooth it out with your finger, add it to the mix, and you'll see how thick it gets. I heated up the kale again, and now we're going to add it to the stew. Notice how I drained it. We don't need any more liquid going in there. And all I'm going to do is just mix it up, and we are done. We're all done. The kale is mixed in there, and I'm not going to thicken this up. I'm having it with some rice. So we'll just put this in like so. Try to get some meat. Some potatoes. And then right on top of this, I cooked them some rice, basmati rice. And I oiled the inside of this 1 cup measurer so that when you put it right there, it comes out nice and easy. You might think it's too much rice. Well, I love rice. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoy it.